so this is my spellbook engine. So I have this template set up just so I can immediately create decks that I use the spellbook engine with. It's a draw engine, along with obviously spellbook organization. You get to for consistency, basically you get to choose the order in the top 3 cards you're going to draw, so that way you draw the nuts as opposed to drawing into bad hands. Plus it'll definitely let you know if what's going to happen to you for the next 3 turns. And of course this comboed obviously with the spellbook of tower, you're gonna draw the next 2 cards because you organize in the order you want, and you're gonna draw those 2 cards. It's gonna be your turn. You're gonna draw. Standby phase, field effect, put secret or organization on the bottom of your deck. Draw the second card. So you just drew 2 out of the 3 that you put in order, and then you just go off from there. And that extra draw card comes in handy. Of course, you gotta have a spellcaster and on the field or in the graveyard to activate and apply this effect. Which of course the idea is that any deck that uses a couple of spellcasters will benefit from this. If you play Veiler, if you play Evilsworn's, Kirksion, I think is his name. He's a spellcaster, so that's why I made the Evilsworn spellbook deck, because since he's a spellcaster, I'm able to take advantage of that, especially when I exceed into Ophion, detach him, send him to the graveyard to add infestation. Now I got spellcast in the graveyard. I'll be able to play secret, get into tower, play tower. Now I have secret in the graveyard for next turn, so I can draw 2 cards next turn. So I can get an extra draw next turn. And it's the basic engine. It's not too complicated. It's nice and simple. You could put this in any deck where you play spell cards. Like let's say you don't want to play organization, even though organization is good, or let's say you don't even want to play secret. But secret, remember, it's kind of like terraforming, but it also feeds the field spell. So you play a secret, get the field spell. Right there, you already have a spell book to use for tower's effect. So that helps thin out your deck, of course. Organization helps you organize your deck, so you'll get the good stuff. So you have a lot more control, plus you have a little draw engine, and the fact you can put the cards back in the deck lets you reuse them. I didn't know until like yesterday, I think it was. I was dueling somebody, and then somebody pointed out in the middle of the duel, because for some reason no one else pointed out before, and I never noticed it before because I didn't fully read the full effect of tower. But apparently tower can't put tower back in the deck, so that's important to keep in mind. Since tower can't put tower back in the deck, I couldn't just play what I originally liked playing, which was just a tower and secret by itself. So the decks that only have these 2 in it, their abilities are a little limited. Pretty much you're just going to keep putting secrets back into your deck just to get the extra draw. But the extra draw is better than nothing. All it is to thin out the deck, draw some extra cards, spell card fodder in case you play Summon Monk or what's it called? Not Magic Drain. Curse Seal, Forbidden Spell, Landoys, Dark Paladin, anything that requires you to have spells. This will come in handy because you only need 1 tower on the field. So when you roll it for the other tower, when you secret into tower, you can always pitch the extra tower for the effects. Just like Divine Wrath, you can pitch the extra tower for Divine Wrath, or you can pitch your extra spell book of secrets, in case after you already added all of the towers, and since tower can't put tower back, you're only putting back secrets. You can always, since if you're not playing an extra set of spell book, like the way I play Wisdom or Power, or of course Organization. These are the optional cards depending on the deck I'm running. If I'm playing, the Blue Eyes, Maiden with the Blue Eyes, obviously I'll play Power instead, just because I like the power boost. aspect, so that way she can deal some damage. And then, you know, since the target's you get her effect, bring out Blue Eyes, Synchro, you know, do whatever you want. But for decks where, you know, like I might need to protect my spellcaster because my spellcaster has an important effect, something as simple as like I play, you know, Break of the Magical Warrior in a deck, or Lila and Light Swarms or something like that, right? You know, this comes in handy. I definitely haven't tried this in the Light Swarm engine yet, so I definitely want to give that a try. Put these into the Light Swarms, especially with the organization, be able to control the top 3 cards, you know, in the orders you want. Especially if you have a monster that just only mills 2 monsters, especially when the new Light Swarms come out. You know, you activate their effects and you mill 2, so the ability to organize the top 3, so that way you mill monsters and not any of your good spells and traps. You know, stuff like that will come in handy. But for a monster that mills 3, obviously it doesn't matter the order at all. All 3 are going to the grave, right? But it's pretty cool. Or let's say you set it, you bring Lila out or something like that, right? You end your turn, you mill the top 3. Then your opponent, let's say your opponent MSTs, you know, you chain, of course. So you just baited out his MST, and then you can organize the top 3 cards, so that way you can hopefully draw something. Especially if there's any spells and traps in there, you obviously want to add those to your hand, like Soul Charge and Light Brigade, you know, things of that nature. You know, the important spells and traps. You know, be able to put them on top of that so you can draw them, so you don't mill them. So that comes handy, right? And then of course the whole, if you have any spellcaster Light Swarms in the graveyard, of course, like Lila and whatnot, you'll get Tower's effect, put any spell books that were milled, or obviously the organization, if you chained it and, you know, you have organization in the grave, put it in the bottom of your deck, draw. Plus it helps you, you know, avoid decking out if you're constantly putting, you know, organization and secrets back in the deck over and over again. You know what I mean? That will help you avoid decking out if you're milling a lot. And let's see, not much. Obviously, like I said, you can use Wisdom, you can use Power. You know, I use mainly, just because it's the engine, it's Tower, Secret, Organization. So it's Secret, Tower, Organization. Whichever way we will put it. Organization of Secret Towers. Whichever way you want to call it, this little engine. But you know, it's a 9-card engine, and you get extra draw, you thin out your deck, and you get to organize your deck so that way you have more consistency, draw into your combos and whatnot. And of course, in order to properly play it, you're going to need a spellcaster. Interesting note is you could take the tower out of the engine, right, and just play Secret and Organization, and just be able to thin out your deck and control the top 3 cards of your deck. So you could just even play that just for the heck of it. You know what I mean? Just because it'll give you the ability to, you know, thin out your deck and organize. It's, in a way, it's kind of like kind of similar to Duality and Upside Goblin combined, but without the restrictions of not being able to special summon the same turn, and also not, you know, and also not giving your opponent 1,000 life points. So if you want an alternative to that, to those cards, you could play this Secret and Organization as replacements, or you could just add it to it, you know, as part of the design of your deck. You could throw in Tower just so you can get a draw engine out of it, you know, all that good stuff. But that's what the thing I like about the Tower concept of it, you know, engine, is that, you know, it is for the purpose of drawing, especially if you have spellcasters in your deck. It's very useful. You know, even something as simple as, you know, you use Slacker. You know what I mean? That's easy for you to go into Slacker Magician. There you go with that. Especially you have Slacker Magician, you know, defending you, and then you're using Tower's effect and just drawing into your combo pieces and then just go off. That works. It's not that hard to make Slacker Magician, right? I guess that's the end of the video.